friends, welcome back to my channel. Today's video, I am going to be talking to you about reverse planning, what it is and why I use it. Before we get going, this video is a collaboration with Ashley over at Dash of Home. I will leave her channel down in the description, and I also will leave a list for the link for the playlist down in the description as well. We're all going to be just kind of talking about planning. So you could get ideas on ways to plan, maybe resources to use to plan, just kind of anything revolving around planning you will find in the list. So make sure you check it out. As for me, if you guys have been around here for any length of time, you may remember I did kind of a similar video on planning before, and I reverse plan. I have found that it works best, at least for me in this season. So first things first, let's talk about what reverse planning is. So reverse planning, very simply, is exactly that. It is planning, but in the reverse. So instead of looking at the curriculum that we have and scheduling out each day as maybe you normally would, on Monday, we're going to work on this lesson from this curriculum. We're going to read this book, that kind of thing. It's actually the opposite. So I don't plan anything technically. There is no list. There is no certain times. We just do what we are going to do for school that day. And then once we have completed things, I will write that down in my planner here. And that way I'm still able to keep track. Now, what I will do at the beginning of the year is I will look, because we use GatherRound pretty well exclusively, outside of maybe like a couple, little free unit studies or, fun little holiday things. For the most part, our main curriculum is GatherRound. So at the beginning of the year, I will look over the units that we currently have. My daughter and I will kind of do that together. And then we will make a list of units that we want to do. And generally we pick 5 to 6, and we just go with it. Once we have picked the ones that we think we want to do for the year, I write them on a sticky note actually, and I stick it to my computer so that I always know kind of what we were thinking. And then we decide which one we want to do first from that list. And that's what we go with. Once that unit is completed, then we will go back to the list and we'll kind of decide what we want to do next. I don't care in what order that we do them in for this season. There will be a time, when we get into US history, those types of things, we want to go in order for those, but right now it doesn't matter. We can do farming and food and then dinosaurs and then psychology and all that stuff. And psychology is actually a really good example. We had no plans to do psychology. It had not even come out yet when we made our initial list. But then it came out and we both looked over it, and my daughter decided that she wanted to try it. I thought maybe it would be a good idea. So I just threw it in there once we were done. So it really kind of leaves things open. So that kind of leads me into, why do I reverse plan? It's just that. It is so simple and so easy for me. It takes all of the stress off. I feel like I don't have to stick to something every single day. As far as my state laws and requirements are concerned, they're very, very minimal. And so I don't really have to meet, very much criteria. And so that makes it really easy for me as well, because we don't have any of those benchmarks or anything that we are required to meet. And so we just kind of go with the flow at this point. Again, that may change, in future seasons as she gets older and things like that. I may have to do a little bit of planning ahead, but I don't know. I really, really like this. I like the way that we have it set up. I know that we are going to do Bible. I know that we're going to do math. I know that we're going to do gather round. I know that we are going to read something. And then I have a spot for extras. So in my planner here, and I have a whole video on a flip through of this planner. I will try and link it up for you guys. It is the Simple Plan Planner, but I have these sections here for the subjects. It keeps coming out of focus. And then I just write down what we do for the day. And then obviously the back is empty because it's not that day yet. And so I have the subjects listed because I know those are subjects that we are going to do. We're going to do something for Bible, math, gather round, extras, and reading. And then there is another blank space at the bottom that I will put for, appointments, extracurriculars, that kind of stuff. Since we have updated our basket, I will link that video for you guys too, with the way that kind of our flow and our rhythm of the day has changed. We are getting to Bible every day. We are doing more of our history. We're getting more of those things in because I really just simplified things. I was trying to do too much at too many different times, and it was just becoming, it got overwhelming, but to the point where none of it was getting done. We still were only doing math and gather round, but we just had all this other stuff just spread out everywhere, and we were never picking any of it up. So simplifying and just having one school basket and saying, okay, these are the things that I want to focus on. And then in the morning, we do our breakfast, all of that stuff. We get ready for school time, and we just go through the basket. And then whatever we complete in the basket gets written down in my planner, and that's it. That's all it takes. It's very simple, and it works. It works great for me. Obviously, my daughter, it works great for her because she doesn't have to participate in any of that. Yeah, and of course, with each unit, there's a little bit of planning and thinking ahead that happens with those. I have not been real great at that. I tried to do better with living off the land because that was a unit that I was very, very excited about. And I wanted to have all of the extra activities. I wanted to do those, and I wanted to make sure that I had those things on hand. And that's as simple as going through the unit, figuring out what supplies and things are needed for each activity, and just making a shopping list. And then now you just have those things on hand. And when you get to them in the unit, you have what you need and you just do it. Again, that's kind of planning, but not really. We do have, my daughter does take dance, but that's Mondays after school, in the afternoon. Outside of that, we don't do co-op or anything like that. So we really are kind of free to do whatever, whenever. And that helps a lot with planning as well, because I'm not trying to navigate around other things. And yeah, there's just a lot of freedom in not having the planner filled out and saying, okay, these are the things that I said that we were going to do today, and we've done one of the 7, and now I feel frustrated, and now I feel overwhelmed, and I feel like we got nothing done today. You got one thing done. That's a positive. That's, that one is better than nothing, but I guarantee you could think about the fact that, your kids went outside and played. Did they I don't know, did somebody figure out how to ride a bicycle today? Did somebody figure out that sometimes leaves can be brown and red and yellow and green? Did somebody learn what those colors were today? You could find all kinds of things that count as school in just the everyday mundane things. And it doesn't always have to be curriculum, right? It doesn't always have to come from a book. So I try not to put that kind of pressure on myself, especially at my daughter's age. We have curriculum, we have books, she loves doing them, but I also try to make sure that she is enjoying it, and she has plenty of other time to do all of the other things that kids want to do and use their imagination and all of the fun stuff. So that is why I use reverse planning. That's a very short snippet of what kind of our day looks like. Of course, like I said, there will be an entire playlist of all kinds of resources and ideas and thoughts and all that kind of stuff. So if you guys are looking for more of that kind of content, make sure you check out the playlist below. Don't forget to go over to Ashley's channel as well. That is linked in the description also. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will talk to you soon.